Hello and welcome, fellow reagents. Whether you're here by your will or against it, it's time to prepare you for the trials ahead if you wish to see tomorrow. But before we get into all that, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Woofy, Woofy the Loser, or also known as Barzod. And this is a beginner's guide to Outlast trials where I will do my best to instill confidence and share helpful knowledge to you so that you can safely return to the sleep room with the rest of us. To make this as digestible as possible, I've set up chapters that you can click under the timeline so you can view or review specific parts of the video. Without further ado, let's start things out with some context of what's going on to you as the player. Let's begin. The setting we find ourselves in is in the year 1959 within the Cold War era. The player is an unfortunate soul down on their luck, homeless and hopeless. However, a flyer drifts into their hands and it appears to be that a corporation called Murkoff are holding charitable outreach centers for the less fortunate like the player. With no other options and desperate, the player heads to one of these centers where they find out that they are anything but charitable and find themselves being held hostage along with other people also tricked into seeking out these outreach centers. After being transported by a meat haulage truck, they find themselves inside Murkoff's Sinyala facility, where they're performing grotesque experiments on people in order to brainwash and control them to do their bidding all over the world. Before sending the player on their way, the scientists assist the player in agreeing to the collection of their public records as well as documents relating to their private life. After the business is concluded, they seal the deal by drilling night vision goggles onto the player's head before sending them deeper into the Sinyala facility. A mysterious figure you'll be introduced to while within the facility is Dr. Easterman. Not in person, mind you, but through the intercom system and televisions installed throughout the facility. This man is the director and senior researcher for the ongoing project that the reagents are being used as guinea pigs for. He claims to care about the reagents and X-Pops as if they were his own children and that everything he does is for the betterment of them. This couldn't be further from the truth, however, as you will soon discover while playing the Outlast trials. Before entering the trials, you'll be directed into the sleep room where you and the rest of the reagents will be living in.
Get the fuck out of my way!
Ah yes, your own room. Here you can relax and unwind during your downtime between the trials. You can fully express yourself here to really show the real you. The real you that everyone will come to love and appreciate. It comes with a fully operational radio and mostly functioning sink, fully stocked with only the best beds Murkoff can provide. It even includes a lifelike companion. Dazzle your neighbors with your lovely sense of decor and watch them envy every inch of your luxurious room. To begin customizing your room, simply select your bed and it will take you to a menu with options to choose from. Be it wall posters, table decorations, or bundles that will change the theme of your room in general. But hey, why stop there? You can even don on different types of outfits you earned by taking part in the trials. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there. Simply enter the menu through your sync area and you'll have 3 submenus to customize your character and profile picture. Inside the appearance menu, you can modify your character's physical looks and choose a voice for them. You then can pick out a set of clothing and accessories ranging from their tops, bottoms, goggles, and rigs. You'll also be able to choose complete entire outfits to wear as I mentioned earlier. Inside identification, you can change the icon of your profile with memorable Outlast pictures you can unlock, and also change the portrait frame around it. Lastly, we have Behavior, which allows you to pick an emote for your character to display whether for the loadout screen or results screen after completing a trial. That way, you can really express how you feel about Murkoff and that you are their how high kind of reagent. Now, cool clothes is all well and good, but you're probably wondering, how does one obtain
the drip?
Well, let's just mosey on over here and I'll show you. Murkoff provides these fashion catalogs to all of their amazing, albeit unwilling, test subjects. Here, you can browse and see all the items you can earn simply by playing the game. To obtain these items, you must collect stamps that Murkoff provides whenever you complete a trial or a task, so be sure to check if you are assigned any inside the loadout menu.
Oh yeah.
Now you may be asking, Woofy, where do we get stuff that will actually benefit us inside the trials? Well, I tell you, if you'd wait a minute, he's so filthy. What's going on? What's the issue? No, I read the prompter right. I'm calling them filth because they're literally bums off the streets and they're our captives. Why are we sugarcoating in this video? They're all gonna be probably dead within the first few days anyway. Why is the red light on that camera on? Oh, fuck. Hey, sorry about that. Just a small intermission to fix some technical difficulties. Now, where were we? Oh right, geared to help you in the trials. Now this ray of sunshine here is Cornelius Noakes. He's the engineer here at Senyala and will provide all needs for your rigs. Murkoff was nice enough to bring him here so he could put his skills to good use, and he absolutely loves it here. Right, Noakes?
Fuck this place.
Always the kidder. Interacting with Noakes will bring you to a menu with different kinds of rigs to choose from. There are currently,
At the time of recording,
6 types of rigs to choose from that you can also upgrade for better performance. To earn anything from the different vendors, you need to use these green vouchers to purchase them. You earn these vouchers by leveling up as you play.
Woofy, what the flip-flab is a rig anyway?
I hear you yelling while rudely interrupting me. Again? Simply put, a rig is a little gadget attached to your ESOP that can help you in different ways. It all depends on what you choose to equip for the trials. You can only wear and use one at a time. And before you start running those succulent lips of yours again about what's an ESOP, bam! It's that. Now, this lovely lady is Emily Barlow, but she prefers to go by Nurse Barlow. She has an associate's degree in science nursing and is in charge of giving reagents prescriptions that can give them an edge in the trials. Think of these as permanent passives and upgrades you can earn by spending your vouchers here. You can gain abilities such as sliding, or physical boosts such as increased stamina, as just small examples of the many options you'll have. And once purchased, these are always all active. Do keep in mind, however, that there are 3 tiers to these prescriptions, and in order to climb to the next tier, you must first complete the previous tier. And for you folks at home, just remember, eat your schools, stay in drugs, and don't do vegetables. Now, this shady figure goes by the title, the Shadowy Dame. Her real name, however, is Doris Ritter. She doesn't work for Murkoff and is actually another reagent. She has some connections within Murkoff, so she doesn't have to take part in the trials anymore, and instead provides contraband gear called amps for other reagents to purchase by using their vouchers. Think of amps as actual perks for your character to give them more of an edge during the trials. You'll unlock 3 perk slots with its own category, such as tools, skills, and finally, medicine. You can only equip 1 amp per category, so choose wisely of what's useful to you, or you can check out some channels that go more in depth onto what amps are more useful. When you're done exploring the sleep room, it's time to enter the terminal to prepare for your first trial. From here, you can select Loadout or click onto the slot above your character. You will then be brought to the loadout screen where you can choose which rigs and amps to bring with you into the trial. Once you've picked out what you want, you will then highlight onto the left of the screen where it says Select Therapy. From here, you will see different programs to choose from, but for the time being, we're going to just focus on the main program, which is Core Therapy, aka Genesis. From left to right is the order of areas released throughout the game's updates. Each area has its own map, trial, challenges, and prime asset, which I will go into detail later. Once you've selected an area, you'll see the multiple scenarios you can go through. However, to clarify, each area has a main trial, which is a bit longer to do, and then the rest are called MK challenges, a lot more shorter and simple. Before you pick a scenario, you can set up the difficulty, which will then show you what modifiers are going to be put into play and what rewards you'll earn once completed. As a new player, you can only select a certain difficulty until you unlock the next tier by leveling up to a certain level. For example, a new player would only be allowed to select Introductory. However, if you're with another higher leveled player, they can select the higher difficulty and take you with them into the trial. Finally, with the trial selected, Murkoff will prepare the trial for you and you'll be taken into the shuttle that will transport you to the area. Within the shuttle, you'll be strapped into a seat where you will be briefed on your objective by Dr. Easterman himself, and will then be gassed where you will face hallucinations of what's ahead. After you snap out of it, you can still modify your loadout one last time if you need to before heading inside. As a new player, if you play Introductory, the trial is set with minimal traps, abundance of items, and bare minimum enemies. But once you climb difficulty, you'll notice that the trials will punish you for every small mistake you make and will not hold back. I created this acronym for the three main things players should be doing when entering the trials. CAP, which stands for Cautious, Aware, and Prepared. Simply put, always be cautious of your surroundings and be on the lookout for traps and enemies, not just for yourself, but your fellow teammates as well. When I say aware, I mean be aware of your current objective and stay focused. The game will always tell you what you need to do, and the environment will always provide clues in order for you to progress forward. Prepared. Always be prepared, as in keep yourself stocked with items when you can, but for the sake of your management, I would recommend for new players to keep at least one healing item for your health or sanity, one item of utility, whether it's a lockpick, adrenaline shot, or battery. Lastly, one item of self-defense, such as a brick or bottle. As a beginner, you can hold up to 3 items max, so keep yourself ready by making sure you grab one category for each slot: health, utility, and defense. One last thing before we jump into the actual gameplay. You're not obligated to, but the game by default is set to immersive for your HUD. I usually recommend turning on health, stamina meter, and inventory so it's easier to always manage your character's status. I would always advise turning on noise indicator, which will show around the center of your screen whenever you generate noise. Also, turn the group setting to on. That way you'll be able to keep tabs on your teammates' health and what rigs they're using. Knowledge is power in the trials, and the more you know what's going on, the better. Lastly, turn on hide item after delay, in case you don't like the item you have on your screen obstructing part of your view the whole time. Now here we are, finally inside the trial. You will immediately be notified of your first current objective. Every map is unique with its own layout and hazards related to the prime asset in charge of the area. You'll most likely come across some people sitting or standing around muttering to themselves. These poor souls are part of what's called the experimental population, or XPOP for short. They will not chase you, but will attack if you get too close to them. Hitting them with any means will cause them to flee to the nearest insertion gate. You'll be able to scavenge items around the map, whether they're just lying around, inside containers, or on the bodies of fallen reagents that didn't succeed before you. Just be sure to keep an extra pair of clean underwear, just in case, for a certain reason. Okay. One of the many dangers you'll face is managing your sanity. There will be enemies and traps that will cause you to lose sanity. You have 3 bars of said sanity. Losing 1 bar, you will start to see hallucinations. Your screen will be warped and your hearing will be impaired as well. Losing 2 bars, you will then be faced with harmful hallucinations like tentacles if you collide into them. Losing all 3 and you will be forced to flee from a being called the Skinner Man, a horrible entity that will drain you of your health just by being near you until you get your sanity back by surviving long enough, using an antidote, or death. I'd advise getting rid of it with the first 2 options. Every main trial will introduce you to the prime asset in charge of the area you're in. Prime assets are basically the boss enemies that hold dominion over the different areas in the Senyala facility under the direction of Murkoff themselves. Each prime asset is unique and each have their own way of giving reagents a hard time on succeeding the trials, whether it be their attacks or special traps they place around the map. The first prime asset you should meet if you start at the police station is Leland Coyle. He's a dirty cop that enjoys unleashing police brutality on anyone unfortunate enough to cross his path. He also has a very strong fascination towards electricity. If he's able to land a blow on the player, they'll be unable to use their rig for a certain amount of time due to Coyle short-circuiting it. As I mentioned, each prime asset has their own set of traps. In Coyle's case, he uses ground electric traps that will harm the player if they step over them while they're active. Thankfully, most traps like his can be destroyed by either using a rig or throwing a brick or bottle onto them. Another trap that new players need to be aware of is whenever they open containers. Sometimes you'll see a contraption within that will gas you after a delay or immediately if you take an item from inside. Always look before grabbing anything to make sure you don't lose sanity. Another obstacle you'll have to face is sound traps, one example here being broken glass. No, don't worry, it won't hurt you, unless you're playing with the modifier that says it will. The other sound trap is hanging tin cans that will make noise if you walk into them. So be careful when navigating the trials, you don't want to invite unfriendly attention. The most common trap you'll come across are psychosis mines. As you saw in the earlier example, stepping onto these will explode gas in an area affecting everyone nearby and will linger for a few seconds. So if you see someone step onto one of them, don't walk through the gas until it dies down. These traps can be destroyed as well, like Coyle's traps. Lastly, for the normal set of traps, you'll be faced with trapdoors. If you open one of these trapdoors while standing, you'll be impaled in your ESOP with a trap that will gas you if you don't pull it out in time. If you're impaled and there's a nearby teammate, they can help pull it off before the gas goes off. To avoid being hit by these traps, you can open them while crouched, slowly peek them open to prevent triggering the trap, or if you're on the correct side, you can disarm them by ripping out the battery charging them. A certain design of the trials you need to be aware of are the insertion gates. These white automated doors is how Murkoff sends in X-Pops throughout the trials. You will know if an enemy is coming from them if you hear the alarm and see the yellow lights flashing from them. The main thing when inside the trials is to complete the objectives Murkoff lays out for you, the player. You can always track on what you're currently doing on the top left of your screen. However, some objectives will require a little bit of critical thinking and observing your surroundings. For example, In this clip, I cannot progress further with the snitch until I open the lock with a key. After looking around, there's a TV with a heart shape on it. Looking at the clue with your cursor will confirm for everyone in your squad to see. After looking, the door opens, which reveals a corpse with the same heart shape on it.
This looks important.
Be careful though, because the writing next to the body, if you take the time to read it, says wrong symbol equals trap. Trying to search the wrong body will result in your character being harmed. The trials heavily punish players that don't follow instructions or those that try to brute force the puzzles. So do take care when trying to complete objectives and do them correctly. Let's get a little more in depth with items you'll come across in the trials. Let's start simple with healing items. The most basic healing items you can find are small medicines or bandages. Small medicine will heal 1 bracket of your health instantly. Bandages can stop bleeding and heal 2 brackets of health, but require a bit of time for the heal to finish. Lastly, we got large medicine, the most potent healing item, and will instantly heal all your health no matter how low you are. You could find them inside locked medical containers, so you'll need to have a lockpick to access them. Another health type item are antidotes. These will heal your sanity, so be on the lookout in case you lose a few marbles during the trials. Next up, let's move to utility items. First up is your night vision goggles that Murkoff was kind enough to screw onto your skull. These will allow you to see in the dark, unlike most enemies. These don't last forever though, and will need batteries to keep them powered up, so you're not walking around in the dark blind. The batteries you can find are small and large batteries. Small batteries will recharge a small portion to power your night vision goggles, while large batteries will recharge an even bigger portion, usually fully recharging them. Next we have lockpicks. These tools can be used to release electric locks around the trials, whether they're on doors or containers. You'll be faced with a timing minigame where you must land in the green 3 times in a row. If you land in the dark zone, nothing happens. Red will deliver a shock harming you, and if you don't complete the lock in time, you'll be gassed, causing you to lose sanity. Another handy item you can find are adrenaline shots. These items will fully restore your stamina, give you a speed boost, and will even prevent you from losing stamina for a certain duration. These are great when you're cornered or trying to transport heavy objectives or payloads. Lastly, for utility, we have rig rechargers. These are a huge boon to your team because they will instantly make your rig available again, bypassing their cooldowns. For example, you can use a heal rig, and if you use the recharger afterwards, you can then heal again immediately if you need to. For the next series of items, we have emergency items. These can be found in emergency containers mounted on walls throughout the trials. If you're playing with other players, they will contain a syringe that you can use to revive a dead teammate. If you're playing solo, inside will be pills that will grant you another life in case you die. Next on the list are throwables. These are very simple. As the name implies, you throw these 2 items, bottles and bricks. Bottles can be thrown to generate noise and distract enemies. Bricks can be thrown to stagger enemies to buy you time to flee or get an objective done. Bottles can be thrown at enemies as well, but they won't affect them as much as bricks can, and you need to hit them in the head to get them to react at all. Bricks, on the other hand, are not great for distracting enemies with noise. Both, though, can be thrown at traps to disable them, but bricks can be picked up again for a second use before completely breaking. Finally, for the last set of items, we have boosters. These items can make the trials significantly easier if you can find them. They are always located inside confidential rooms that are randomly placed inside the trials. In order to access the room, you must locate blue buttons, usually in the same room you found the blue confidential door. If you're solo, you just need to find 1 or 2 buttons and press them. If you're playing with other players, you need 2 people to press both buttons at the same time to open them. Now back to the boosters. There's 3 boosters inside the secret room that you can find. First is the health booster. They will fully heal you and give you an extra bracket of health. Next is the battery booster. That will increase your night vision battery life immensely. Last, we have the stamina booster. It will recover any missing stamina, give you a long speed boost duration, and you can't lose stamina for a long time, and will increase your max stamina as well. Last item you can find in the secret room is a special one called the Master Key. This key resembles a lockpick but is modified. It serves the same purpose as a lockpick, but its special quality is that it will not break upon use and it will instantly open any lock without having to do the minigame. A very strong item to have if you're using rigs that have long cooldowns or need to open medical containers to have more stronger heals available. Now that items are out of the way, allow me to show you some helpful actions you can perform inside the trials to make you and your team's time more easier. Let's start with some basic movement tips. You'll notice that you can parkour over obstacles when traversing around the map, but doing so will cause noise which can bring unwanted attention. However, if you crouch before jumping an obstacle, you will negate the noise with no danger. You can also bunny hop around while crouched to move around faster and quieter at the cost of some stamina.
What's going on? Help. Okay. We need to stick together. Sit tight. Look at that. Thank you kindly. Sure, be right there. It's a trap. See that? Watch it.
Another handy trick to keep you safe is being able to peek over your own shoulder. While running or interacting with objects, you can peek over your left or right shoulder. That way you can be aware of any dangers nearby. There will be times when you need to run away from danger once you're spotted. A handy trick you can do when running away is to shut doors behind you. But there's a better way to do just that instead of stopping, turning around, and closing the door. As you're running towards an open door, you can press the close button and you will run through and shut the door behind you without looking back in one full motion. This way you can keep running while slowing down your pursuers. Enemies are naturally attracted to noise and will investigate when they hear a loud sound. You can use this to your advantage to distract enemies away from you or to pull away attention from a fellow teammate. For example, you could throw a bottle to make noise and the enemy will go search where they heard the glass break. You can also use glass windows, sound traps, or even doors to create some noise if you have nothing to throw. Jumping is also effective if you don't have anything else to make noise with.
Just shut the fuck up!
Staying hidden is one of the best ways to stay safe in the trials, and thankfully, there's plenty of hiding spots ranging from lockers to trash bins. When inside, you're unable to be seen by enemies and can peek to look around, but you need to be careful. Just because you're inside a hiding spot doesn't mean you're completely safe. Enemies can see if you're peeking from a hiding spot and will investigate where they last heard noise. So if you panic and run into a hiding spot, don't be surprised if they search around and find you hiding. As a reagent, you can choose to team up with other fellow reagents when entering the trials. When you have fellow teammates, you can perform certain co-op actions such as climbing ledges, leaping large gaps, and bashing through barricades to get around the map much faster and safer. Keep an eye out for shortcuts that your team can benefit from using when traversing the trials. There will be times when reagents will be knocked down and require help from another teammate. When knocked down, players will begin to bleed out but can still crawl around. They cannot crawl upstairs and will actually tumble downstairs if they crawl close to them. Even after a reagent is down, they are still in more danger if there's nearby enemies. If an enemy comes across a down teammate, they will attempt to execute them, bringing up a scythe icon, so you need to act fast. You can intervene by throwing something at them, or running up and kicking them off your teammates. Be careful though, because kicking an enemy off will cost stamina, so be prepared to run as soon as you help your fellow reagents. With all that, let's now move on to the final parts of the trial. Nearing the end of the trial, after you complete your final objective, you will be informed that you can now vacate the trial area. Most cases you will need to run back to the start where you enter the trial, but there will be times where the exit is located somewhere else, so be on the lookout for where the trials direct you. When you reach the shuttle gate, you will see a red button. Pressing it will call the shuttle and start a countdown for the remaining reagents to reach the shuttle gate. They will have 3 minutes to reach the end and enter the shuttle. Do be careful, however, pressing the button will not instantly open the shuttle door. The shuttles require 10 seconds to arrive and you will need to hold out until then. There is still hope for those that go down near the shuttle doors. Even if you're bleeding out, you can crawl towards an open shuttle door and you'll pick yourself back up when you enter inside. So for other reagents, it's better to cover their escape and let them crawl than to slowly pick them up off the ground where you both can still be attacked. Even when inside the shuttle, if there's still fellow reagents inside the trial, you can choose to exit the shuttle and assist them. Just be careful though, when the timer is up, everyone inside will start to receive electrical shocks until either they die or successfully enter the shuttle. When you finally complete the trial and escape on the shuttle, you will be brought to the results screen where you and your team will be given a group score and an individual grade. Your grade is affected by how much main or secondary objectives you do, how much damage you take, how many traps you triggered, how many times you went down or died. Your score takes a massive hit though if any teammates don't make it back to the shuttle during extraction, so be sure to look out for each other and help when you can. After that, you'll be given rewards like XP, stamps, badges, or green vouchers if you level up. Afterwards, you'll be brought back to the sleep room where Easterman will comment on your grade. Just a heads up, he is super judgmental if you score anything below an A. Congratulations, you finally completed your first trial, so give yourself a pat on the back. Now that we're done with that traumatizing experience, it's time to move on to our last two things, and that's about Relapse and Rebirth. Now to talk about Rebirth. The whole goal of the trials is for us to earn our freedom by being reborn, as Easterman tells us. To do so, you need to talk to the security guard in the sleep room guarding a gate that's meant for reagents trying to be reborn. He will only allow you to enter if you give him 100 blue rebirth tokens. Once you give him the tokens, he will read you a form of what's next and ask for you to sign so you can begin being reborn. There are two types of rebirth trials. Solo rebirth will give you one of many cinematic endings for your character, and communal rebirth is where you could team up with other reagents to be reborn, where you'll be given a news article of what you all did once you're set free. Don't worry about losing everything after becoming reborn. You'll keep all your upgrades, cosmetics, everything, but you will have to recreate your character and put back on all your stuff because technically, when a reagent is reborn, they are set free. back into the real world, and someone has to take their place. So canonically, whenever you rebirth, you're a different person entering the trials. Okay, now for Relapse. So, the more that you play, you'll gradually level up until you reach the cap, which is level 99. Once you reach level 99, you'll be given the option to relapse in the grading hall after you complete a trial. Choosing to do so will have your character reset to level 1, but you will receive a relapse token and a number representing how many times you've relapsed. Your relapse token can be used to purchase anything from any vendor with a few exceptions. For example, you can choose to purchase any amp from Doors and you'll permanently own the amp no matter how many times you relapse. The exception comes in when you talk with Nurse Barlow. You can only purchase any of the first tier of prescriptions unless you purchase them all with relapse tokens. Then you'll be allowed to use relapse tokens for 2 and so on. And with that, we finally hit the end of the video. I will say that I know that I didn't go into details about the enemies in the trial, but I'd like those enemies to be a surprise. If people would like, I can maybe make another video going into detail about the enemy types you'll come across in the trials. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to check out this Loser's Guide video, and hope it helps with you learning the trials, even if by a little. Hopefully, I'll see more of you new reagents in the trials one day, and that we can both escape together. Oh, and this was finished a couple days before New Year, so let me wish everyone happy holidays and a happy New Year. Phew. Alright, we're done. I could finally leave this damn recording studio.
What is this Pinkerton scalping fuck job bullshit?
Who the hell? Franco, what the fuck are you?
What happened? What the fuck happened here?
Who the fuck let you out?
Who pulled the fucking plug?
Who is that you dragged in here? Is that guy bleeding?
My friend was trying to express himself. Would you shut your crying cocksucker for 1 fucking minute? I can't hear myself think.
Alright, Franco, just calm down. Just put the gun away. You don't have to.
You don't fuck with my business! You think Murkoff can protect you? You got another fucking thing coming! Please! Fucking take a scumbag to work day!